Hi everyone, this is Margie Ziegler with Dream Life Ignited, and I decided to go on live today and see what you have to say. I want to hear what's going on with you, so feel free if you're here. I did not plan this, I did not let anybody know that I was doing this, but if you're here and you want to just say hello, that'd be great so I can see who's here. If you have anything you want me to talk about, or if you want to tell me what's going on with you, I'd love to hear. Today I was thinking about resistance again. What's going on right now in the world, on the planet. And so this morning, hi Doris. So this morning, after I did my meditation, I was sitting in a chair and I was thinking, what can I write to my community about today? What can I talk about today? And, there are some of those days where I sit down and I just, it can take me so long to try to write everything and do it perfectly, and it just is ridiculous. So today, I just took a pen on a notebook and I started writing intuitively whatever came up. And what came up for me was that I got up late today. I got up about 7:30, and I noticed in my mind that I was beating myself up a little bit for not getting up earlier. And so I thought, oh, there's some resistance there. That is not good for creativity. That is fighting what is. That's what you might call stress. There doesn't need to be any of that. So I thought, be kind to her. Treat her like your best friend. So what would that be like if you treated yourself like your own best friend, and you caught yourself when you started beating yourself up about something, and you just said, oh, would you talk to your best friend that way? So I was noticing that. And then I was thinking, oh, I was sleeping late, a little later today because, and I love morning. I that's my favorite time of day. But I was thinking, I wasn't sleeping that well last night. I was awake, sort of very, very awake, but at the same time, I feel like I'm really in tune with the pulse of the planet. And I felt like the planet was alive. It was awake. It was awake, and I was awake with it. And then there's those times of peace, the great peace, and I felt greater peace and happiness than I've felt in a really long time too. And maybe even happier than I've ever been, really. And I've been by myself most of the time. So I was thinking, there's the time where now the planet is like, it said, okay, you guys weren't listening to me. I wanted to slow down. You guys are doing too much. You're flying all over the place. You're polluting. You're doing lots of things that I don't like, and I'm going to make you stop. So then this happened and forced us to stop because we didn't listen, that we were supposed to be quiet. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Jeanette. And so the planet decided to take care of itself, as it always will, and everybody had to stop. And now the air is getting a lot cleaner. People had to reschedule vacations. I had a trip to Greece planned that I rescheduled a year out. And, I had been flying all over the place too. In fact, after my last flight in January, I thought, it's really good to be home. I love it. I just need to stop for a while. And then all this happened. So I'll sort of circle back to where I started. Is like, talk to me. Tell me what's going on with you. So if you want to say anything or ask anything, I'd love to hear. I noticed that a lot of people feel chaos. And you might have heard me on a different live video talk about that too. But if you think about the pulse of the planet, if you think about there's chaos before there's order. Just like when we're growing, we have this upward spiral of becoming, this life that's calling us for more. And, it never wants us to stay right where we are. It always is calling us for more, so we're always aspiring for more. And when we decide for growth, many times we start taking action towards that, and then we go into this chaos because we're moving, and the old way of being is fighting for dear life to stay here. All the old patterns, behaviors, and so there's this sort of craziness that the body feels as you're moving into your next level of becoming, your next level of growth. And I think, the same thing, so that's happening with our planet right now. And what I've found is that I'm really tuning into the pulse of the planet. So last night I felt as if the planet was awake and I was awake, and then there's other times where it's just quiet. I mean, it's pretty amazing how much quieter the neighborhood is. Very peaceful. And, I'm very sorry that a lot of people are really going through the stress of not working and things like that. And at the same time, I'm so pleased to see people and families being out there and people going inward and really finding that peace. So, if you're feeling chaos, that's, that can be normal. Especially if you're going through a growth phase, maybe you have to be with yourself more. Maybe you're not used to being with yourself. Maybe you're not used to a lot of things and changes that are happening. So you might feel chaos because of that. And that chaos turns to order eventually. So the chaos of the planet will turn into order once again. And if we tune into that without so much resistance, then, maybe there will be insights and intuition and creativity. Like I said this morning, I was in chaos a little bit. I noticed me fighting myself that I got up later than I wanted to get up. It seems so simple, but, you notice when you start to notice those subtleties, you can self-correct so that you keep going in the direction you want to go in. So I was saying to myself, would you treat your best friend that way? Treat her well, or treat him well. There's a creative being in you that wants to express itself. And maybe this is your time. And for some people, it's a time to rest. For some people, it's a time to learn more. For some people, it's time to do something they haven't done, whether it's painting or writing. Hi, Mary. And so listen to that voice in you. Tune in, and start to notice what's calling you. Listen to that guidance system that you have. So what's going on? What's going on with you? I wrote this whole thing this morning. I just went from intuition. I wrote all these pages of stuff, and I'm gonna transcribe it, right? I'm gonna write it in a post, and I'm gonna leave it unedited. I think I'm not gonna fool with editing, because then I'll get into perfectionist mode, and it won't come out the way that it was. And so I'm going beyond what I used to let stop me, which was, what are people going to think? Oh, they're going to think you're a little woo-woo. It's like, okay, am I going to try to please everybody? I don't think so. So I'm giving all that up, I'm giving all that up. I'm giving up the perfectionism. I'm giving up having to be liked for people to please, to please everyone. And the people that are attracted to my message, they'll be here. Do you go through any of that? I mean, I think that no matter what, I think everybody wants a certain level of approval. I mean, I wouldn't want people saying a lot of bad things either, but wouldn't you, but what do you think about that? Are you really watchful about what you say and do, and because you think somebody might not like you, or because you won't have a certain approval rating or whatever? It's like sometimes we just have to really go with what our soul says. Go with that guidance and give what you have to give. Give what you can give. So I don't really remember what else I wrote in here today. I'm going off sort of on, I'm just letting it roll here. But I do want to know what's going on with you. I want to know how you're feeling. I want to know how you're using this time. I want to know your perspective on all this. Rob, the other day. Hi, Rob. Hi, Monica. Rob, I was watching what you were talking about of the vision. When your wife had the video playing of a place they would vacation, one of their spots, and she made the food they would have had. And so Rob was talking about living the vision. And that's where we have to go, It's like we want to have our vision. That was great, by the way, Rob. So we want to have our vision, really define what you do want, what you would love. This is a great time, if you're at home, to start writing your list of what would you really love, because we keep looking at the problem. If we keep looking at the problem, we're going to keep getting the problem. So we want to go and have a different perspective, and we want to have our GPS, our vision. And that's where once we have our vision and we start moving towards our vision, that's when we start to notice all the limiting beliefs coming up. It will happen. That's just what happens. We set our intention. We set our intention for something we want to see in our life. And this is the perfect time. There's no better time than now. Set your intention for what you want to see. Stop going with the masses. And the more we focus on it, no matter how bad it might seem I don't know, everybody's got a different situation. Some people are really, really scared because they might have autoimmune deficiencies and things like that. And so keeping the vision can keep your immune system stronger. Keep your vision, keep your eye on what you want to see. And take what's one step you can take right now where you are with what you have. Hi, Arian. I hope I'm saying your name right. I've gone off sort of on a tangent here. I started out with talk to me because I want to know what you're going through. I want to know how you're using your time. I want to know what kind of emotions you're experiencing, what your thoughts are. And then I was talking about this morning how I was noticing my own thoughts and noticing resistance and letting go of that and saying, treat yourself like your own best friend, because that's when the creativity will emerge, when you don't have the resistance, when you do have the self-love. Because otherwise there's that voice, and let me know if you have this, but that little voice that sort of beats you up once in a while. creates a little chaos for whatever you're doing, says, don't do that, do something else. Do something else. The more aware we become, the more we notice that. The more we notice. And then we were talking about the planet, the pulsating rhythms. You know, I used to do therapeutic body work. And when I would be doing, let's say, some cranial sacral therapy or some myofascial release, and I'd be working with somebody. Let's say I've got my hands cradling their skull, and it's called an occipital condyle release, and I would hold my hands there, and I would feel, and I would wait, and I'd feel this therapeutic pulse, and I would just wait until their head relaxes on my hands, about 3 minutes, and then I would traction towards me and really open that up, that you know, at the top of their neck, at the in the suboccipital area, and really open that up. And I remember a lot of times I could tell if somebody had a headache. I could tell, you know, if there was a lot of chaos going on in there. And I would really get in touch and connect and feel the chaos, and I would wait and wait and wait. You have to be very patient. And then all of a sudden I'd feel a still point, nothing. And I'd hold it, and I would wait until that pulse came back, and then I would give it more traction very gently. But that's what all this is happening here. That's what that reminded me of with the planet, where, hi Alfonso, I don't know if I said hi, hello. So as the planet pulsates and we get in tune with the rhythm and we listen, and we are, you know, it's subtleties, and we tune into that, and then there's a pause. And we can pause with it. And then there's a pulsating again. And sometimes after that, there's all this chaos that happens because there's a new order that's occurring. And so I think of what's happening with the planet, and I compare it with doing an occipital condyle release like I used to do. I do a little bit of therapeutic body work still, but I mainly do coaching for people, for entrepreneurs and healers and leaders and change agents, people who are busy and want to redesign their lives. But anyway, besides that, this can apply to anybody. It doesn't matter what you do at all, but you know, when you can tune into the subtleties, you tune into the subtleties of your own being and the subtleties of the planet, it just reminds me of those times doing the body work where there's a pause. The energy comes back in, and even after the patient leaves, there might be a couple weeks of reorganization before they're at that next level. Before, I mean, they might go through all this chaos in their body because stuff is coming up, it's releasing, it's leaving. And the planet needed to release a lot of stuff, a lot of pollution, a lot of chaos, a lot of everybody's moving too fast, everybody's polluting me. I want them to stop. That's just my opinion. That's my perspective. I would love to hear yours. That's what I'm tuning into with my own being, with my own body, mind, soul, spirit, environment, with this union that I'm feeling. And so if you're going through a time of chaos, you know, what is that going to, what kind of order is that moving to? Where are you in this? What kind of growth are you going through? What kind of change do you want to see? Where can you set your intention, and what will your vision be? I love one of the things I do in my work is I work very closely with people with creating an intelligent vision, because in the absence of an intelligent vision, we leave everything to default. Okay, we leave everything to this is what's happening to me, or this is what's happening, instead of designing. Not that we have control over everything, but we might have a lot more control over we have control over our design, we have control over our vision, and we can take steps towards that regardless of what's happening around us. I've learned to navigate. I mean, there's things in my life, just because I'm a coach and I help people with this doesn't mean that I don't have a lot of stuff to deal with. I mean, there's stuff in my life you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at, like, wow, she should be freaking out about. There's things you'd think I would be freaking out about. And I'm not. Because I've learned to navigate the terrain of fear. And I've learned to navigate. And I'm not saying I'm perfect at it. I'm not. But it is a practice. And so I love to help people work through emotions. I love to help you create a vision. I love to help you take steps to designing a new life, a new biz, or creating something new in that container that you're in already. Hi, Mindy. I don't know if I said hi. So here we are. What's your vision? What would you love to see? What are you going through? What can I help you with? You know, one of my zones of genius is really working with you to connect, to create a vision, to redesign your life, but also to really connect with the emotions that you're experiencing, because I guess, I learned to do that mainly probably when I was doing therapeutic body work and helping people release the emotions out of their body, unwind, let go of that, I would say. But I love to work with people. It's on video. A lot of times we go on video. And to see, when you're talking and something comes up, let's say we're working towards something. Whenever you're working towards a goal, something's going to come up. And I can see sometimes where you might be stuck. And so we work with that. I guess I don't need to tell you the how of everything, but I do love to work with that because those things will come up. So I know I'm getting a little off track, and I know, but it's all intuitive today, so it's okay. The professionals will say, hey, when you go on video, there's one main point. You stick to one main point. I wanted to connect with you, and I wanted to hear what you were saying, and I wanted to really express myself and connect, because I don't always do that, but it's my intention to connect with you on a deeper level, maybe tell you what's going on here and hear about you. So if you want to talk more about it, please message me. I'm going to let this be now. I thank you so much for being here. It's an honor. It's an honor to connect with you, serve you, be here with you. If you want to know more about the support roles that I can play, message me. And, things always start with a conversation. It could be a conversation in Messenger. Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you soon. All right.